it was all a bit weird.
Yeah.
At that stage, though, I believed he was gay, and that's what he was coming out, and that was the information we were given. We were lied to, and Ruth and I, to this day, are embarrassed and ashamed when we see those pictures, when we see the toils that some people who are tortured by their sexuality have to go through. And this man, was this a cover-up for something else?
Well, he doesn't mince his words, does he, R. Eamon? And that was an explosive interview. You can watch the whole thing on our GB News YouTube channel. Let's speak to Showbiz reporter Hayley Palmer. Good morning to you, Hayley. Really good to see you. What do you make, then, of Eamon's allegations? This is part 2.
Yes, I have to say that I rushed home to watch this last night for part 2. The things I wanted to flag up that I thought were interesting, he said about the Queen's funeral. He said they were there to make a film on the Queen's funeral. Did we ever actually see the film? No, we didn't. So that's the first thing.
He's not letting it go.
He's not letting that one go. We love Eamon. He also said why Holly and Phil were allowed to advocate drinking when they appeared on air after the NTAs. And I have to say that's something I've always thought. Is that OK to go on and say that you're drunk? Or I don't know if that's an act or not. But for me, that doesn't quite sit well. And also he said that Eamon recalled how Phillip confided in him in the green room before he came out live on air, and he said that the whole thing was choreographed and staged. So that was the 3 things that I flagged up from last night's interview. Also, Phillip has been dropped as an ambassador for the Prince's Trust and airbrushed for We Buy Any Car YouTube adverts as well. I was reading this morning. I mean, Phillip actually got to interview the late Duke of Edinburgh for a special show, didn't he? So this is, it's not a surprise, obviously. For me, I would just like to flag up, as much as I don't agree with anything that he's done mental health-wise, I don't think this has been brought up enough, is that I just feel that someone that has gone from here to here, that is a concern for me.
Yeah, you do really worry, don't you, in the age of, you know, Caroline Flack and hashtag Be Kind, you do worry about what you say, someone who's gone from the height of fame all the way crashing down, you know, everything that he's known has been taken away from him. You do just hope he's got a good support network around him, no matter what he's done. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, everyone has their view on this. We all have our view. But for me, it's something that I haven't heard much of. And it doesn't sit well with me because I'm always, you know, talking about mental health and, you know, we all go through things in our life. But to have that strain, I can only imagine what he must actually be going through, wrongly or rightly. I just would like to flag that up this morning.
And there's still, you know, there's still a lot of speculation and there's a lot of things that we're reading about, but we don't actually know which parts are 100% correct and what aren't. So it's something that's we're going to navigate over the next few days and see what happens, because things are changing. You're right, it's changing so much, isn't it? Hour by hour. I mean, they're saying now that Holly is going back on Monday. How's that going to pan out? I don't know. I mean, they're saying that the whole show could be axed. I mean, is that fair on everyone else that works on This Morning? Is that fair on the other people behind the scenes, the production staff, Alison and Dermot? Would that be fair on them? I don't think so. What is so interesting is, as you say, This Morning as a brand, because it is this wholesome family show. I mean, you've been on it for many, many times over the years. It's known as being this really comfortable, warm, friendly show. And then to hear allegations from Dr. Ranj Singh this week, Eamon Holmes this week, saying it's actually a really toxic culture, is going to damage the brand, isn't it? It absolutely is going to damage that brand. And you're right, I think it's the viewers that I actually feel sorry for, because you know, people like my mum or, you know, people that will sit and watch it religiously every day, you believe in that, don't you? Yeah. It becomes part of your day, becomes part of your life. So for them, I feel like they've been lied to. And I feel like once that trust is broken, it's very hard to come back from that. It's interesting about Holly saying she'll be back, or they're saying that Holly's saying she'll be back. But if you look even just a week ago, where Phillip had stepped down from This Morning, but he was still going to be presenting the Soap Awards, or there was still a big daytime, I think a primetime TV they were going to give him. So things are changing very, very quickly. So, you know, we don't know if that's going to be true or not. But there's a lot going on, and it seems like it's just the beginning as well. I agree. I think there's so much more to come out. I feel like we're not being told everything at the moment, and I feel like this is going to unfold. Yeah. Everyone's got their story, haven't they? I mean, I actually did my work experience when I first started in the industry
at ITV. I was at this morning. I didn't notice anything going on. I thought it was very professional. I didn't have much to do with Phillip and Holly. You know, they were very much kept themselves to themselves, but that's just my view that I saw when I was there. But obviously everyone does have their view of how they've been treated. And, you know, there's nothing worse than working in a toxic workplace. I have been in a toxic workplace myself, and it's something that I wouldn't wish upon anyone. So I feel like it needs to be addressed. Could they maybe say, do you know what, maybe this has happened. We hold our hands up. What can we do for here? I feel like the viewers, we'd be like, yeah, you know, let's move forward with this together and think of a solution. But I think it's like the unknown at the moment, isn't it? And all these things keep coming out. We don't know what to do.
And very briefly on that point, Hayley, ITV bosses, they're going to be facing questioning by MPs next Tuesday about this. They're going to be asked about how much they knew about Phillip Schofield's affair and how they handled it. And so far, they've just pretty much said there was an investigation, they found nothing. Is that going to stand up, do you think? Or do you think people are going to have to step down over this?
I think people will have to step down. I really do. You're right. Next Tuesday, bosses will be meeting with Parliament. It's going to be televised. I think all eyes will be glued.
Box office, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, let's see what happens. That really is the next step. I don't think ITV have actually said anything for a couple of days now. So I really feel like that will be the next saga to unfold.
And they'll have to have their story ready for then, won't they?
Absolutely.
They'll be having
questions
to speak
need
to
to be
MPs.
answered, not only for ITV but for the public as well. We want to know answers.
And just quickly, just on my point, you know, I've been there many, many times.
Yeah.
I never saw anything like that.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone was nothing but nice to me, but, you know, I guess everyone's had different experiences.
Exactly. I mean, you're a nice guy, Peter. You know, and that comes across, and I'm sure, like, you get on well with people. So,
yeah.
But like you say, everyone's got their different view, and
yeah, absolutely.
You hear good stories and bad stories, don't you? I don't think that's the problem. I think that the problem is that, you know, we feel like we've been lied to. It's not even what's happened; it's how it's been covered up. I think that's what doesn't sit well with the public.
Yeah. Hayley, brilliant to have you. And you're with us the next hour as well, aren't you? Brilliant. OK, we'll see you then.